Hey everyone, welcome back to Simple Programmer here, and I've got another interview for you today. I've got Reynald Adolphe. Adolphe. See, that's we were just talking about your name, and you said say Adolphe, so that you don't say Adolphe, and of course I immediately say Adolphe. So anyway.
Reynald Adolphe, click, it's off. That's all right.
So welcome, Reynald. Thanks for doing this interview here. I wanted to interview Reynald because he's doing some interesting stuff. So this is kind of like a fun interview because well, why don't you give a background? Why don't you tell a little bit about yourself and what you're doing, so I don't spoil the fun here.
Sure. Well, I mean, I'm a .NET developer. That's what I've been doing for a while, but I've always had an interest in stand-up comedy. And like for the longest time, I've always like thought how cool would it be to have like an environment where you could be learning about like technology, but somehow incorporate entertainment. And so what I ended up doing, and quick, let me give you like a background. I'm
Sure.
single right now, and a few months ago, I had decided to go ahead and start up a meetup group for singles where we have like an hour and the singles could come in and have icebreakers and meet each other. And then afterwards, after that hour, we move them into like a room where we have like a comedy show. And I would host, book some comics, and they really enjoyed it. So it was like a singles event. If you didn't get a date, at least you got like some laughs out of it. All right.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so that was going like pretty well at a comedy club. And so what I ended up doing is, you know what, I could probably do a format similar for technology geeks, people that love, going to events where we watch speakers. So I ended up starting up a group called C Sharp Entertainment that opened up with like a musician that I would book for a speaker, and then the speaker would come out, do their tech talk for about an hour.
Yeah.
And right after that, I'd have like a comic perform to close out. And in between, we'd have like 15 minutes to have like some pizza, network, whatever. And I would host the show. So that's one of the things that I've like been doing to try to get a lot of uh, tech guys and women to come to this event and like get their get their technology fix while meeting some like comics and getting some entertainment out of it also.
Awesome, awesome. That's awesome. By the way, you are in good shape here because I let you know that the Simple Programmer YouTube channel has a 10% female demographic. So, you know, because you said that you're single, so this is,
All right. So hit me up
but
on Twitter. It
but
was so hard trying to get like women to come to this because there are some meetup groups where it's women in technology,
yeah.
but there needs to be some type of like major movement to get like more women involved in coding. I don't know what it was in the beginning, but I feel like yeah, it would be really nice to not have it be a sausage fest every single time.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's hard though because different interests and different. I mean, it goes against the grain a little bit. So, but I agree with you. I totally agree with you. Like it's just hard to find the women in technology, and there are fewer of them. So you end up having mostly you end up having a room with 90% guys in there and 10% girls. So,
Right.
but.
Yeah, most of them that I've seen uh, were recruiters trying to get me a gig.
Yeah, yeah.
Recruiters, right?
And,
Oh,
that, and you can tell. I don't want to be too like, but you go to a meetup and the recruiters, those recruiting companies, they always like I don't know where they get recruiters from, but it's not like they don't judge recruiting talent like to hire a recruiter based on
no,
merits.
not
I
at
like I'm okay saying that like.
right.
I think it's pretty obvious if you've ever gone to like a conference in a booth and you or a meetup. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure their interviews are probably like, "Are you good at saying buzzwords?
right.
Can you say C sharp? Can you say Azure? You're good. All right, let's go ahead. Let's hunt. Let's start doing some hunting.
We're
But you
gonna
know
get.
what? Ironically, they were the ones that started up a lot of these technology meetup groups, and it makes
Yes.
perfect sense. I didn't even realize that till I was attending some, and then I was like, oh, this is a pretty good venue for a recruiter to come to, because I was meeting recruiters at these tech events, and then all of a sudden I realized, wait a minute, you own this event, you started this event.
Exactly. Yeah.
How genius. So Meetup I think, is really going to blow up much bigger than it is, because you could almost do it for any type of area of business. Like I ran into a Meetup because I was recently looking for a home to buy, and I wanted to get a little bit more educated. And by the way, it's awesome that you mentioned that in your books regarding realty. That gave
Oh
me a lot
yeah.
of tips also. But I was like, well, let me see if there's some meetups that talk about the real estate economy and like what's the best way to negotiate, find homes, and there were some realtors that started up meetup groups giving talks similar
Oh
to
yeah. Yeah.
talks. I'm like, this could work in a lot of different areas. So I really think meetup is something to look out for.
Yeah, yeah, it makes a lot of sense because you get it like you said the tech recruiters, the real estate agents. Like there's a good way to provide value for people, and then you're able to build a customer out of that. So I think, and that I mean that's really effective marketing, right? That's the best way to market is like you gotta go in there and give someone some value, and then because you've given them value, then they want to do business with you, as opposed to the constantly in their face, constantly bugging them, not giving them anything but asking for something. So
Right, right.
cool. So let's see. So that I really like this idea of this entertainment kind of group, so mixing the technology and the entertainment, and for a few different reasons. I mean, one, just because like, hey, we should have a little bit more fun, and this kind of stuff shouldn't be boring. Let's get more kinds of people involved, and then two, just I think that's great for helping developers become more social, becoming more. I feel like there's you'd create more of an environment where people could become more, get out of their shell and learn to meet people and be a little bit braver. Are you seeing that like when you do one of these meetups or?
Yeah, one of the things that I notice is people come out of their shells a little bit more, because if you're at a work environment where a speaker came in to give a talk, people are not going to be as free to say whatever's on their mind regarding technology or their work environment as they would in an environment where there's like some entertainment going on, because it's not all of a sudden we don't have like eyes watching us like our bosses. This is like a fun environment.
Right.
And what's really cool is that uh, it's different for the speakers that come,
Yeah.
because they're not used to like having like a musician open up for them, and they are basically on the bill like with other stars. They're like the
Nice.
star, and they have like these other performers also. So they really enjoy it in a different way that they're used to. Jeremy Clark, uh, I, you probably are familiar with
Oh
him,
yeah, yeah. Jimmy
of
Clark.
course.
Yeah, he's a friend of mine. Yeah.
Yeah, he was my first speaker.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like looking around and seeing like all these people that showed up, and he was just like, "This is cool. I've never had a musician do electric guitar opening up for me before. I could do this."
Nice. It's good that you chose the order that way too, like the music, then the speaker, then the stand up. Because I think
Right.
if you did the stand up and then the speaker, then your speaker
Yeah.
might get heckled.
Right. Yeah, that would be a little bit tricky. The speaker would have a
Yeah,
little bit pressure to try to like be funny, and then
that's
all
true.
that.
Yeah. But no, that's great. So where are you? Are you in LA?
I am. I
Oh,
am.
okay, there we go. How did I guess that?
Yeah. I'm in Los Angeles. Actually, I used to live in Florida though, because you're in Florida, right?
Yeah, yeah, I'm in Tampa. Yep.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
used to live in North Miami, Florida, and then went to Northwestern. That's in Evanston, Illinois. and ended up living in Chicago for a while before I came out here.
Okay, okay. Big, those several entertainment cities there.
Yes,
Chicago,
yeah.
Miami. So cool. So what got you in? Did you get into sort of the stand up and entertainment before you got into technology, or like which came first, and how did that come about?
Right. I actually, so my first interest in entertainment was when I was a kid and I saw a video of Michael Jackson doing the moonwalk.
Yeah,
And I was like so impressed with like the moonwalk. I'm like, I want to be in front of a crowd doing something amazing like that. Wow. And then later on realized, well, I didn't really care that much about being a musician, but maybe acting, and that bounced around. And then I saw Eddie Murphy do stand up. This is like a while back. It's probably dating me, but that got me interested in comedy. So
yeah,
comedy came first. I didn't study computer science in school. I did communications because I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do as far as like in the corporate world.
right,
But what ended up happening was I had a job in advertising and was working like a if it was a sweatshop, 70 hours a week,
oh
no
gosh, yeah,
overtime, right. And a friend of mine was working for Anderson Consulting, and he's doing technology traveling. He had his weekend, and he was getting paid way more, and he got overtime. And I'm just like, you know what, this technology stuff seems to be a little bit more fun, going from client to client. And that's when I started like taking a couple of classes and got a job at a help desk at DePaul University and learned so much there that I immediately got a job doing help desk work, and then that moved in me into consulting.
right.
And the next thing you know, I didn't want to finish like the masters and get it in debt because my gut told me that with technology, it's one of those things. If you could just do the job well and keep learning, you didn't have to get like a graduate degree and be in debt for that.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
yeah, so
Awesome. Okay. Okay. That's cool. So the stand up now, what do you do? How do you I've always wondered, like, how do you get ready? How do you practice, and how do you become a stand up? Because I mean, it almost seems like there's one of those things where there's like not this transitory period. Like I can't imagine, like, okay, I haven't done comedy and now I'm on stage doing stand up. Like, do you just practice on your own? Do you have a stand-up class that you go to? Because like my background, I got a somewhat similar background. Like I got involved in acting as
right.
an early age in the entertainment, because I always wanted to do entertainment. But with that, there's like a smoother transition. At least I felt. But is there a similar thing like for doing stand-up, where there's like classes you take and then you kind of transition to the stage, or do you just like, one day you just go up and just start telling jokes, or
You know what? It actually goes both ways now. There are more classes
Mhm.
nowadays, but several years ago there was hardly any stand-up classes. You just went to what they call open mics,
Okay.
where anyone can go up, sign up, be on a list, and then do 3 or 5 minutes on stage. And whatever happens, happens. And you
Yeah.
just learn from that. You go through a lot of bombing. Most
Yeah.
comics just go through a lot of bombing and avoid trying to be depressed
Yeah.
until you get like some material that just works here and there. And then you gradually just start collecting and building the material. So I've never seen any comedian that just went up for their first time and just really killed it with genuine material. Some people do better than others, but in general, to answer your question, we go to open mics,
Yep.
and sometimes people just take classes for, let's say, 6 weeks, and then they have like a graduating class where they perform in front of like a live audience at a comedy club. So that's what they generally do.
Okay. 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 So, I was going to ask about the crossover. Like, what do you feel like? I mean, they're very different fields, right? Or different,
Right.
but do you feel like some of this entertainment kind of background has helped you in the software development world, or not, or what's the, what do you think about that?
The other way around, actually,
Okay.
because the software development world is what gives me some unique material for
Yeah.
stand-up.
Yeah.
And I actually haven't started using a lot of material from uh, my experiences at work, just a little bit, and in technology, because it's kind of tricky. You want to be able to talk to a general audience. Um, so you don't want to like start mentioning technical things that they're not going to get and only like the computer geeks are going to get, right?
Right.
So I've been a little bit careful doing that, but I do that has to be my voice because that's what's unique that I bring that you don't see too many other comedians do. And when I think about it, there's a lot to talk about.
Oh
There's
yeah.
things that happen in your work environment that a lot of other people could relate to and doesn't have to be related to technology. There's the maybe competitiveness that you face with your colleagues that are see you as like an arch enemy when you first joined the company,
Right.
right? Um, there's relationships with like management. Um, but then there's also things about like for me, I like teaching. I actually recently became an author for uh, lynda.com. So
Oh, awesome.
you actually inspired me because I watched a bunch of your videos on Pluralsight. Um, and that's like one area that I kind of want to merge comedy and technology and have like some introduction videos where it's also funny, where I inject humor.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but it's tricky though, because Lynda.com has like a very broad audience, an international audience. So some jokes that I could have embedded in some of my code examples regarding um, some scandal Eddie Murphy got into or whatever,
Right. It's not gonna.
is not going to work like abroad. So I remember they were being a little careful because I was trying to be like humorous on my first video that I did over there, and they're just like, well, that humor might not work in Germany, or so we might want to scale back. Or wait a minute, is Coconuts Comedy Club a real comedy club? Yeah, we might want to rename that because we don't want to have to deal with any legal, so
Yeah.
but I want to figure out a way to like have fun
Yeah.
tutorials that are humorous also, you know what I mean? Instead of
Oh
just
yeah.
a straight man.
Yeah, no, yeah, we're on the same mission then, because I think that's good. I did some humor in some of my Pluralsight videos too, and it's good. It's a good break and stuff. I found self-deprecating humor to work because then everyone understands that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But no, that's cool. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear it. Like, it's glad to hear also, just refreshing to, you seem like the kind of person that's like, you realize that you could do anything, see Michael Jackson moonwalking, like, hey, I could do that. I could do stand up. I could do programming, I can make Pluralsight or Lynda videos, so that's awesome. I like that attitude. I think more developers should realize that they could do all these different things. Like, you don't have to just be one thing. So that's
Yeah. It's odd how some people get weirded out when they say, "Oh, you're a comic, but I thought you did computers." Whoa, it's like, "Oh, my mind can't compute
right.
two different fields." Like, oh, seriously? I mean, there's something about comedy where I guess people get weirded out if you do other things also. But if it was a doctor that happens to be playing tennis, they're not going to be like, "Wait a minute, you're a doctor?
Right,
And you
exactly.
play
Yeah.
tennis? Wait, I can't." You know what I mean?
Oh
But
yeah.
it happens a lot with comedy. I don't know why.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny too. Like, I remember, and you see, it's nice to be the programmer entertainer, because I remember, back when I was living in Santa Monica, all my acting friends, right? They're like, oh man, shit, I gotta go to my I gotta go to my waiter job. Oh, sucks,
Yeah.
man. Wish I had money. And I'm like, nice to be the, not the starving actor, but the actor that's making big money with his day job. So
Seriously, I always had a fear. I did not want to be a starving actor. Like,
yeah,
I knew I wanted to be involved with entertainment, but I also knew I didn't want to be broke because I grew up broke and I didn't want to have to be like another apartment with roaches, you know?
exactly.
So I'm like, part of me was a little envious of some entertainers that just had the balls to just go out and didn't go to college and then just start pursuing their dreams. And I only know a few of them that like really made it doing that. But I was like, nah, I'm gonna go to college, gonna do the corporate thing, like have some money, and then try to somehow get involved with entertainment. And I'm glad I did that. The only thing that I would have done different, honestly, is study computer science in college. So when I graduated, I would have went right into computers instead of like wasting time just trying to figure out what I wanted to do. But you know, you live and learn.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Plus, who knows? I mean, you might have went to studied computer science and then hated it because
Yeah, because I had a Nazi professor, you know.
exactly. Yeah.
Seriously.
Oh, yeah. And if you had a Nazi professor, he probably wouldn't have liked you very much either with your name. So.
He's like, Reynald Adolphe. I like the name. I like the sound of that. Sit up here. You and I. Calm down,
So,
everybody. Too soon.
yeah, yeah, it's funny. We're gonna catch some flack for this interview, but that's all right. We haven't cut some flack in a while. It's if you really want to catch flack, you just post something on Reddit or Hacker News, and then you really get to feel the pain.
Right.
Yeah, so I was just reading Reddit yesterday. Someone like posted a response to like one of my videos that was linked there, and some gun called me out by name. They're like, I don't like John Sonmez at all. I was like, that's great. You just watch my video, post like not even like just blatant. I just don't like the guy. Like, all right, guy, all right, that's fine.
That's
But
funny. That's probably going to be more publicity for you. People are going to be like, really? Well, let's see why he doesn't like him.
exactly,
And
yeah,
go
yeah.
and
So that's probably something that you have to face a lot doing stand up, right? Is reject. I think a lot of people, are afraid of rejection. A lot of developers, you probably get that all the time doing stand up, right? Because you get crickets sometimes, or I'm sure that you're good, but maybe in the past when you first started out, right? Is that something that
you
that
don't need
you
to hold back, John. I get crickets nowadays too. I have my good days. I have less crickets than I did in my past, but whenever working on new material, I just know that sometimes it'll not fly, and I just
yeah,
have to be ready for it. And sometimes things that I don't expect to fly will actually work. But you know what? When it works, it's really, really good, and
yeah,
it's a great experience, and it reminds me of like why I'm even doing this. And when it doesn't work, all I feel like is, well, what could I do to make it better? I never ever felt like, F this, I'm quitting.
right,
What made me think of getting into this joke telling business? Let me go back to my coding. That never entered my mind. I mean, I like both areas. And I could tell you, I remember my best day in comedy and my worst day. I'll tell you my worst day first.
okay,
So I I like yourself have like an entrepreneurial mind. I actually ran a small company called Prestige Comedians a few years ago where I booked comics for corporate engagements.
oh, cool, okay, awesome. Yeah.
And the reason I did that is because I wanted to perform for some corporate environments and maybe like open up for some of these comedians if they were more experienced than me. So it was a way of creating my own opportunity to get involved in that rather than trying to get some other agents to get me those gigs. So I did it for several years, and I once booked myself on a corporate gig. It was for a Christmas party. And I remember having all the material that I was going to deliver prepared and worked out and practiced. And I remember when I was setting up my equipment because I was going to record it, and
Yeah.
hearing some of the employees over talk, they were talking about something that happened at work, and I thought it was kind of funny, so I was gonna kind of like use it.
Oh
And
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I did it, and it did completely didn't work. They might
Oh
even like
no.
have gotten like offended.
Oh no.
It bombed so bad. This improv. I have
Yeah.
to give respect to people who do improv other than scripted stand up. It bombed so bad. By the time I tried to get into my material, I immediately got all nervous and I'm like, quick, go to your A material, go to your closers, like jamming those in. And even those were like barely working.
Yeah.
I was supposed to do about a half an hour. I ended up doing 12 minutes. I remember like somebody came up and in the back and they were just like giving me the single, like, wrap it up, wrap it up.
Oh no.
And this is like, you have to picture the environment. I was at this place called, I think, the Saddle Ranch or something in Universal Studios where it was like a Western bar.
Oh, I've been to the Saddle Ranch. They got that bull that you ride there.
Yeah,
And yeah,
they
okay,
had
I've
this
been there.
fucking bull
I've been
like
there
right.
underage.
They had this fucking bull like right in front of
Yeah.
me, splitting the audience to the right and left, and this huge bull that like I'm performing to the bull,
Yeah.
and I'm bombing. I'm bombing to the bull. People are like freaking out, and then someone else is giving me this sign like wrap it up, wrap it up, and I'm like, all right. The one good thing that came out of it is I felt like during this chaotic moment, I was still giving my best. I'm just like, I'm good. I felt like Rocky getting completely
Yeah.
beaten down, and I'm just like, I'm still standing. You can get me down, I'm still giving my best. That was like the one thing that I was like proud of myself of. So, all right, so I wrapped it up, and then I couldn't even leave right away because I had all my camera equipment there. So
Oh
I had to
yeah.
go over there after bombing and start slowly taking down my my camera equipment before I could get out of there. That was my worst experience ever. And so that's like the risk that you take though.
Yeah. But that
Um,
builds character. That's how you like become tough, right? It's like you're
yeah.
like, yeah, now it's like nothing is so bad as that. You're like, ah, screw you. You don't like my shit? Get out of here. I don't care. Like I told a bad joke at a corporate meeting that about some boss, doing his secretary. And that's it. You can't compare. All right, what
um,
about your best one?
my best day in comedy was when I remember, like, when you're a comedian, a lot of times in LA, and I think this is like a horrible um, thing that they do. Some of these comedy clubs, they have these thing called bringer shows where they make the comedian like bring the audience to them.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah.
so I was doing that, and there was a competition. But because when you do bringer shows, you eventually tap out your friends because if they've already seen your material, it's harder to get them to come the next time. So there was a competition that I went to perform in, and none of my friends showed up for support because I've already used them up. And so um, with 30 comedians performing, I was able to like win enough fans with my performance to get them to like vote for me, and then I went into the final rounds, and
Oh,
like,
nice.
yeah, and it felt really great because I came in with no support. Other people
Right.
were coming in with all these other people that were gonna support him, and these audience members were forced to vote for whoever they wanted, and most of them were going to vote for their friends they came to see, but they're forced to vote for someone else also. And
Oh, I
because
see.
of that,
Yeah.
yeah, because of that, I won a lot of fans. And then like for the next round, I did even better. And then like I won the competition. Like I beat out all these like 30 comics. None of my friends came up, maybe like just a few of them for the second round. And then I won like $500 doing what I really love the most. So that was like my best day in comedy, besides getting accepted to like Northwestern.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. There's nothing like that feeling when you just rock it on the stage and, it's like, you did it and it's like, it's addicting. You want to go back and do it again. Like,
Yeah. everything felt perfect because I even had a joke about like some racist behavior some people do, and the comic right before me had a slew of racist jokes.
Okay, so it
So
set you up.
it totally set me up. I'm just
Yeah.
like, ah, thank you for setting me up. Thank you for handing me that ball to Jordan. And I came in and then I had this joke because it's true. Like whenever, and this is a joke. Basically, what happens is whenever someone's on stage and they say something like really racist, and I happen to be in the audience,
Ah.
half the crowd usually turns to me to see if I'm offended. Like,
Nice.
and then I had said that the next time they do that, I'm gonna be like this.
Nice.
So yeah, the racist comic, nicely bombed for me and it set me up with that
Yeah.
opener, and then it was like smooth sailing along, and then yeah, I proved to be a
Always
legit.
nice if he test the waters for you too, like so
Yeah,
you know whether or not to tell that joke.
seriously, yeah,
All right, well, cool. This is awesome. This has been fun. I definitely want to stay in touch because we've got. I think I'd like to open up more programmers to more of the fun of performance entertainment because I feel like it helps you in your career so much as getting out of your shell. The things that like I always talk about marketing yourself and stuff. You just got to be like you got to be willing to get up on stage and to like look like an idiot because
yeah.
what's the worst that happened? I bet you've never even gotten a tomato thrown at you. Like no one beats you up
No.
because you bomb it. So cool, awesome. Where can people find you in the LA area to go to your meetup group and then find you online? Find your some videos of your stand-up performance. Where can people find more about you?
Yeah, so in the LA area, I have my two meetup groups. One called the Professional Singles Comedy Night
Okay.
that they can come out and check out. And actually, you don't even have to be single to come to the comedy portion of the show. Um, Only the first part of the show where it's the singles mixer is for singles. So unless you're a swinger or something, then you can come there also.
All the Ashley Madison, all you newly divorced minted Ashley Madison folks,
Yes,
can.
thank you, Ashley Masson. Bring these people over. Um, And so that's called Professional Singles Comedy Night, and that's on meetup.com. Also on meetup.com is C Sharp Entertainment, and that's the group where I have a variety of uh, .NET topics that are done by several speakers. They come, and then also I'll have some musician open up for them. The speaker will talk, and then comedian will close out. If not myself, because I'm usually hosting it. So those are the two things. They can also follow me on Twitter, Reynald Adolphe, and also could go to my website. Although I need to update my website, but that's Reynald.net. But yeah,
You got Reynald.net?
yeah,
Man,
yeah.
that's awesome. Good job.
Yeah, yeah. I bought it a while ago and I got lucky. Something's fishy going on. I feel that when you have a website domain and you let it expire, I think there are certain companies that just wait for names to expire, buy it, and
Yep.
then try to get it again. They want to charge like $8,000 for it.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that happened to my prestige artists and prestige comedians.com, and nobody cared for that name before. So I don't know. There's got to be some type of rules and regulations. Still the wild west out here on the internet. All people doing these unethical things, I think.
Oh yeah. 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 They definitely do that. That's definitely that's a whole business out of doing that. But yeah. So don't let your stuff expire, otherwise you get to pay the premium.
Yeah, seriously.
All
And
right. Well,
your book's great, by the way. Thanks a lot. I like that the audio book came out. And I actually like the style of you reading your book because you actually, uh, I noticed, took in between like some paragraphs, you would actually go off and then just like do improv and talk. And we actually get something out of it that just like the book readers didn't get. So that's actually pretty cool.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I just feel like I should add a little bit more, heck, I mean, this is one interesting thing that I think a lot of people don't realize. It's like your views and your thoughts change from year to year if you're growing. So, like, I mean, in a year from now, I'm going to be thinking different things than I wrote in the book. It'll be evolution, hopefully, of my thinking, but it's some reversals, perhaps. But so I felt like I wanted to update that, but. Cool. Well, thanks again. This has been fun, yeah. When next time I come to LA, I'd love to come to your meetup, maybe even speak. So,
Yeah, that would be awesome. Definitely let me know. I would love to have you as a guest speaker.
okay, all right. Well, take care, man.
All right, thanks, John.
Yep.
All right.